the Face for the Butterflies podcast, and knitting and other crafty things podcast being brought to you from the paddling pool in the very middle of England in our back garden. Welcome to the podcast. I hope you're having a wonderful day.
It's boiling! Hello, it's boiling!
With all chaos and background noise provided by the children. Well, the big one is the little one. Hello YouTube, happy today! I hope you're well and thank you for joining me. This is Space for the Butterflies, which is a knitting and other creative crafty sort of things podcast. And my name is Carrie and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Carrie May, and I blog at Space for the Butterflies. And welcome to my house on a very, very hot sunny day, right in the very middle of England. For me today, this is Bank Holiday Monday. It is glorious. Unexpectedly and totally un-Britishly, is that a word? It's now a word. Totally un-Britishly gorgeously. Hot, sunny, wonderful. We've spent half the day in the paddling pool. Oh, it's been lovely. So yeah, a really, really gorgeous weekend. I hope if you were having a bank holiday it was equally lovely, or just it's a nice sunny Monday, or whatever day you're reading it. So I am clearly not wearing any knitwear today because it is hotter than the face of the sun and I would melt, and that's not a very good look for a podcast. So I still have plenty of jumpers I can show you, and I need to knit a few more to catch up. So yes, for today, no knitwear on me, I'm just wearing shorts and t-shirt. So let's start with what I've been making this week. And we can start with the very first thing because it's little. I have made my very first crochet mandala, which if you are a subscriber to Mollie Makes or you pick it up in the shops, that you will recognise because this is their cover kit for this month. Uncharacteristically, I have actually done the cover kit for this month's magazine before the next month's magazine arrives. Up there, yeah, you can't quite see it. Let's see if I just nudge the camera. Up there, there, is a bag full of cover kits from Mollie Makes and other magazines. One of these days, I will really want to sit down and make lots of little random things, or what's far more likely is that the girls and the little boy will get to an age where they want a crafty project for an afternoon. And when I was in my teens, you know, on like winter holidays or something like that, I would have loved it if my mother had just turned up with this massive bag and gone, here you go kids, find whichever one suits you and we'll find the magazine that goes with it. I was very lucky actually. One of my mum's friends got a cross-stitch magazine and she used to give me all the cover kits. I love those. So yes, I'm saving them for me, I'm saving them for them. There's an entire bag full, we ought to do some of them. But if they really, really take my fancy, I tend to do them straight away. So this one is just so sweet. I don't know what yarn it is. It's clearly acrylic and has got fluff on the back of it. This stitch, that one there, I really enjoyed learning how to do that. That's a new one to me. And it's actually the first time I've made a mandala. I've looked at them on the internet, and I know Lucy at Attic24 does some amazing ones, and obviously Yarndale last year, it's like mandalas everywhere. They are beautiful. But this is very sweet and little. I think I'm going to take it into work and hang it on my desk because it's just so nice and spring-like. It's also, I don't think I can find a way to show you it, but when you, no, that just blows it out. When you hold it up to the sunshine and you get the light shining through it, it's really, really pretty. So that shall have to go to work. So, from a very recent thing, let's go to something I really should have done several years ago. So, remember, when was it? Earlier this year, we had a Winter Olympics. I remember 2 years before that, we had an Olympics in Rio. And 2 years before that, we had a Winter Olympics in Vancouver. And 2 years before that, we had the Olympics in London. This is why you'll see it took a long time. Now, John, my husband, is really obsessed with playing hockey. If you're an American, that means field hockey, or Canadian. It's not ice hockey, we don't have ice in England. But yeah, his main sport, he's never met a sport he doesn't like, but his main sport is hockey. So we went to the hockey. And we went to one of those sessions where it was, if you were under 18, it was pay your age, so you just paid however old you were. And our eldest girl at that time was 1. She was about to turn 2, so she was sort of, 1 and 11 months, something like that. The second little girl was still a bump, and the little boy not even thought of. But we went to the men's hockey qualifying, and I have saved everything, and I've probably bought this frame about 3 or 4 years ago, but I have saved everything. I have moved it from house, I have moved it while I moved rooms, because I used to have another craft room in the old house, and then that became a baby's room. So this has been a long time coming, but finally, this morning, I sat down and I made this, which is beautifully reflecting my windows and the garden. Let's see if I can get it closer. So it's the... Oh, I can't see it if you can see it. There we go. So it's the hockey, that's the spectator's guide. We got sent Olympic Games special travel cards, some of the stamps at the top, and then the tickets. So the ticket that's actually on top in the frame is the one that was my big girl's. And then we bought some pins while we were there, and saved and collected one of the special 50p's, which has hockey players on it, women's hockey players, which makes it very appropriate, because this will, when I stop going, I love this is so cool, why did this take me 6 years to make? This will go in our girls' bedroom. Mainly because pink and purple and teal and corally colours are all their bedroom colours, so it'll actually work quite nicely. As well as it being special to our eldest because she was actually there. So yes, I have made that this morning. I love bank holidays. I have also sort of made this. It's not spinning. This was my owl's jumper, but when my owl's jumper got unpacked from the boxes, the flighted beasts had had a nibble, and there are a few holes in it. And also, it's a very fitted jumper. It's fitted to a figure I don't currently have. It's fitted to my pre-children figure, or certainly my pre-3 children figure. And I keep dropping loads of it on the floor, so I keep looking down. It's Mission Falls 1824 in a colour that I think was called Sage, something like that. It's pretty, I think it suits me. There's probably not now enough to do me another jumper. I've eyed it up against the children and it doesn't really sing against any of their particular colourings. So I'm thinking, it's Aran weight being 1824. I've got most of a jumper's worth. I was wondering about doing some kind of big crazy shawl. There's a shawl in a Fiona Ellis book that I own that's massive and L-shaped, inspired cable knits. That's this L-shaped wrap, and then you put your back in sort of this bit of it, and then it all wraps around. It's incredibly cosy. I don't know if it's Aran weight or not, but it'd be quite fun to find out. If that would, that would be lovely. That would be the kind of thing you'd really snuggle under in the winter. It's not the kind of knitting I want to do today, obviously, because it's really hot. And then, so yes, yarn. Yarn to do something with, haven't quite decided. If anyone's come across any really great Aran weight patterns, let me know, because that would be wonderful. And then last but by no means least on things I have made, well, things I have made today and things I have finished this week. This one is cribbed, inspired, heavily inspired, by Amy, who does the Stranded podcast. She makes some beautiful, beautiful sweaters, and I love her podcast. It's just really funny. And really nice to see some really nice knitting as well. Anyway, in the background to all her shots, she has a little banner that she keeps her pins on. And I thought, that's a genius idea. So this morning I made one. There we go. So, oh, stop blowing out, camera. So the fabric on the top is pineapples, which are nice and welcoming. And then it's just white felt on the bottom. So essentially what I did was cut the shape I wanted on the bottom of a piece of white felt, and then made almost a little bag with holes in the corners. So if you look at it from that angle, this would be a sort of pencil case size bag. Sewed up these two sides, not after, sewed the wrong thing first, obviously, because it's me, but then sewed these two sides and then just left this open at the top. And then I just slotted the felt in and top stitched around to keep it closed. And then top stitch, it's got top stitching around the edge of it. The camera does not like trying to read it as it being white. And then this is just pretty baker's twine. There we are, is that in focus? Sort of. And then it's on a knitting needle, because I have one of those, was it piece fleece? Anyway, it's got, I don't know where the other one is, so I thought it was high time I put this one to good use. I rarely knit on straights anymore anyway. So it all got sewn together in about 15 minutes, slightly less if you count you know, if you don't count the fact I had to rip out some seams and think it through again. And then I went to find my pins, and of course, having made a banner for my pins, I then couldn't really find any of them. So there's definitely some more to be added to this. I know I've got a Yarndale sheep from last year, and I've got a couple. I've got one that says Rise and Shine that I quite often wear on one of my work jackets, and one that says Adventure Awaits and things like that. So these need to go on it. So the ones that are on and are staying on, that we've got some more Olympic themes. That's my Ravelympics badge from 2012. This one here, that's Xanthi Barkley gave that to me when I did one of her video walks to Blogtacular. This one I bought at Blogtacular last year, it's just little knitting needles. And this one is for what shall I do next? Because this moves around. And I also bought that at Blogtacular last year. So those are the pins. I've put badges on the other side really to help it balance. If you take these off, it just lurches, which isn't quite the look I'm going for. So these will come off at some point. That just says hello. And then these are my crew badges from the 2 tall ships races. 1997 and 1998. Yes, I'm that old. With crew badges in a tall ships race, because you're going on and off the boats all the time. If you're in a crew, you get a crew badge, and you need to wear it all the time, because it's essentially your ID to get down onto the jetties. So a lot of the jetties are closed off to the general public, so you have to be either with someone with a crew badge or wearing a crew badge. So it's quite an important thing, but also quite nice. So it's quite nice. I've got this hung on my wall, essentially behind where you are right now. So I can look at it and see it while I'm, I don't know, working, staring out the window. Not so much working. So I'm quite pleased with that. And it's another one of those, you know, when you have those projects where you think, I really want to make a ... And in my case, I tend to think, oh, I could do that. And I'll pile up on the corner of my desk, like a couple of little things, and think, oh yeah, when I get time, I'll do that. And it was only really today I sat down this morning and thought, right, I've just spent the last 2 days organising and sorting. So we've got no more packing boxes in our bedroom, which is very nice. I've organised and sorted out the utility room and the big random cupboard. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen some pictures of me going, look, it's really clean, to somewhere that still looks a little bit like a bomb site. Oh, there's a hoverfly. Hover away, hover away. Come on, you don't want to be in here. Go back out the window. No, apparently decided it's not going to eat the yarn. It's decided it wants to come and play. So yeah, so I've been tidying up those 2 rooms and organising them. And then I had another go in here, because I had got in here in my study really nice and organised fairly soon after we moved in. And then we needed to move all the bookcases behind me, because in the corner where there's a little dimple, there's water pipes behind there, and we had a new boiler fitted, and I needed to move everything out of the way, and it all got jumbled up, and yeah, it was a bit, everything got a bit messy again. So I had another go. You can now see the floor, you can see quite a lot of the floor, and it's all fairly organised. So yeah, if anybody wants me to do a craft room tour, shout it out in the comments, or message me on Ravelry or something, and we'll see what we can do sometime, because that would be quite fun, now that I've got it into some semblance of order. So yes, this was the last thing of what I made this week, even if I did make it this morning. What I have been working on this week, my works in progress, I have been almost entirely project monogamous. I haven't done any more on the embroidery. I really wanted to, but I need a bit of brain power for it, and we got very busy at work, so that didn't happen. But because who doesn't want a wool jumper when it's 26 degrees, I have, this is now on 2 needles, it was just so I could try it on. I have the body of my Coinneach. This is the body of my Coinneach cardigan. And so this last time you saw it, that had just shrunk down by 7 inches. So if we look, let's see if I can find a side and you'll see what I've done. There's a side, right. You can't usually tell this, but if I put it in extreme profile, you start to see what I've done. So it was going straight, and then it started going in. So that's decreasing every 6th row, losing 4 stitches at the side seams, so 2 on each side seam, every 4th row. So the other side looks like that as well. When you put it in profile like that, it does look a little bit bizarre. But in real life, this looks fine and it actually fits. It's still quite, there's quite a lot of positive ease still around my bust. As I said before, I'm very triangular. What I think will happen is that my tension, I'm going to stay on the same size needles when I move on to the colour work. And then I think the slightly tighter tension on my colour work will just pull it in just that little bit more and help it tense up a little bit. And that should make it perfect fit around the shoulders. That's the theory. If not, it's just going to be a big, snuggly, oversized sort of jumper. And there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, I knitted like the wind to get it back up to its original inches. This is 17 inches. The pattern, I think, tells you to knit for about 12, but I'm very tall, so I kept knitting. So yes, I finished that and got the body done, and I finished a sleeve, which again is much longer than it says in the pattern, because I have long arms to go with long everything else. Yeah, so there's not really a lot to say about this. It's a sleeve. I have started the next one. I thought I was going to knit all the way through the bank holiday weekend and I'd be sat here with 2 sleeves and a body going, it's amazing how I'm about to start the colour work, but yeah, I did tidying instead. It's been a little bit too hot for too much knitting, although I have plans for the rest of the afternoon to go and sit in the sun or under the umbrella, slightly out of the sunshine, and go and sit and enjoy it and do a little bit more knitting. But I think we're not far off on the plain and simple knitting on this one. Probably the next time you see it, so another 2 weeks, I would guess that we should have 2 sleeves, because the sleeve is my portable knitting on the train, and I know I've got to go to London at least once. I tend to work on the way down, but on the way home, you know, brain fried and you're just going, tell me something that I don't, you know, don't make me think. So I'll do some knitting on the way home. Yeah, so I should think by the time you next see it, I think we should have another one of these, 2 weeks' time. And then I really will be ready for the colour work, and maybe even have begun the colour work, and maybe have finished the alphabet embroidery. I am saving the spring craft pod. I have been saving it because I said I've got to finish the alphabet embroidery first. That's the order of things. Finish the alphabet embroidery, then you can do the craft pod things. There are already pictures going up for the summer craft pod, so I need to get a wriggle on that one. It's some beautiful, beautiful projects. I can't wait to do them and I can't wait to show them to you. But yes, so there is my knitting. And for books I have been reading, well, we couldn't let it go without saying my book came. My West Highland Way Club. I mean, isn't it, just from the front cover, isn't it just beautiful? I love that jumper. I don't know that it would suit me, but I love it. Also, it's made with fibre space cumulus and it's got alpaca in it, and sometimes my skin's a bit reactive to alpaca. It's been a while since I've tried it, so I might have to give it another whirl. But yeah, this I have to make. It's a blanket and it's beautiful. And it's in the Milrocchy tweed, which I love but can't wear, but I bet I could snuggle underneath it for a blanket. I mean, look, how can you not love a book that has a coo in it? It's a Highland coo! And even though I've seen the essays obviously as they came out, it's so lovely it's just nice to hold. I think part of Kate's serious talent is not only designing knitting patterns that I'm just like, I will knit that one, and then that one, and then that one, but she makes books that you want to hold. I think it comes from being someone, she clearly loves books herself as an academic. You want that, it's very tactile. Speaking of things that are also very tactile, the other thing I have been, rereading this week is my copy of... Now, I listened to a podcast, A Playful Day did a podcast with the ladies behind this on, and they said, Lana? I don't know how to say it. It's not Laine anyway. I know this much. Anyway, Finnish wool is what we shall call it. But it's another example of a really beautiful tactile, you just want to stroke the pages, lovely, lovely tactile magazine. This is issue 1, I have issues 2 and 3 because I bought them and they're kind of writing rewards. So when I write to a certain number of words, and when I get the current book to a certain number of words, current book. I've never written an entire book before, I write short stories. I'm trying to write an entire book. It's got a little bit stuck at the moment, I need to get back to it. But anyway, when I hit a certain number of thousands of words, I get one of these as a reward, and then I get to go and read it and be nitty, and it's all lovely. So anyway, I hit my 30,000 words for this, So I want to make these. I just think that's really, really pretty. And I'm sure I've got some sock yarn somewhere that would look lovely. I don't think I've got any yellow yarn, but I've got a really nice burnt orange that would look lovely in. I have had some gorgeous orange cabley socks, and they remind me a little bit of these. But one of the decisions I made when clearing out the craft room, I have a massive bag full of socks with large holes in. And I've been saying, oh, you know, I'll cut the feet off and I'll turn it into a blanket and I'll sew it all up and it'll be fine. And I've now carted them around from one house to another and in rooms in the house, and it's just not happened. Clearly, because I made this one, so clearly I do get to projects eventually, but I'm not sure that's a project that's happening. And I don't think I can really usefully reclaim the wool. It was quite a lot of effort to reclaim this. You know, that's an hour or so sat with the niddy noddy in the garden unravelling everything, and that's just one jumper, and it's, you know, that's a substantial amount of wool. Socks, there will always be sock yarn. I have a lot of sock yarn. I could keep knitting socks solidly for a significant period of time, shall we say, without running out of them. So I think, oh, there's a pheasant in the garden that's just walked past the paddling pool. Sorry, you can't see that. It's very exciting for me, but not so much for you. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so talking about the socks. So I've got this big bag and I think it's just going to go. I don't think I'm going to do anything with it. I think I've tried and I've given myself time to do anything with it and it hasn't happened. So they have to go. The other thing that I think is going to go is an equally ginormous bag. I mean, we're talking like one of those big bags for life. Shopping bags, so your supermarket shopping bags of each, and that's all with all the yarn leftovers, because usually, particularly when you're using the very commercial sock yarn, you know, opal, regular, that kind of thing, even when I'm knitting for John, there's always bits left over, and I've just put them in a bag, and now I have this massive bag. So either I need to, I don't know, stuff a cushion with them or something. Actually, that could work. Might make the moths very attracted to it though. I think I probably ought to stick to the original plan and just let it go. The yarn itself, I will probably see if my daughter's school wants any of it. And then if they don't, it's just going to go. I know people make wonderful like crochet granny strike blankets out of leftovers and knit hexagons and knit those little squarey things, but again, I've had it for several years and I haven't managed to do any of those, and I don't think those kind of projects are really appealing to me at the moment. If they do in the future, by that point I will have made more sock yarn leftovers. So what I'm going to keep out of it is the really nice sock yarn. So anything that's, you know, Wollmeiser, anything hand-dyed that I really like, socks that rock. Things that I could use and would use to make little stripy knitted socks for my kids, because they love having their own little hand knitted socks. They don't take me too long to knit and they don't mind that they're stripy, so I'm quite happy to do that. But the vast majority of it is probably just going to go or go to school. So I'll have to wait and see. And then I have all this space. And I still clearly have, you know, there's boxes behind there that you can see and some that you can't see that have yarn in, and the bottom two drawers of the freezer are full of yarn. I unpacked it from a box and I was a little bit worried about the presence of the dreaded moth, so it all went in the freezer. It probably can come out of the freezer now. John asked me whether I could move it the other day because he wanted to put some burgers in the freezer. I told him just to rearrange the top drawers, it would be fine. But at some stage that's got to come out, not least because I'm going to knit with it. I really am, at some point. So, plans for the coming week, or coming 2 weeks, I have another sweater sleeve to knit, and then we will be into colour work, and then it will not be portable train knitting. So maybe the answer is, I know this doesn't, taking a magazine on the train isn't very portable, but I could take a picture of it from my phone. Maybe the answer is to start casting on these socks. It's been a while since I've done anything other than plain vanilla, and it might be quite nice to have socks myself, not least because there's glorious sunshine, and I should turn the camera in a minute and then you can see what I'm actually looking out at. This glorious, glorious sunshine is not going to last. By the weekend it will be 11 degrees and raining and very English again. And as I have just started and finished a podcast by talking about the weather, I shall say happy knitting, happy sunshine. I hope you're having a lovely time. Give me a thumbs up if you like this podcast. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a craft room tour, or anything else particular that you want me to talk about. And I will see you in a couple of weeks' time. Thanks very much for watching. Bye!